This evening, first up, tragedy at the busy Georgetown intersection. A 69-year-old cyclist is killed after being struck by a turning truck on Lamaha Street as police prepare to roll out new speed control technology for heavy vehicles. Plus, transformation through innovation. GuyExpo 2025 opens with record-breaking participation and bold promises from President Dr. Irfaan Ali, including new incentives for agriculture, manufacturing, and ecotourism. Also, domestic murders doubled. The latest National Crime Report reveals a troubling rise in deadly violence at home, even as serious crimes overall fall to their lowest levels in a decade. Meanwhile, justice in Berbice, a 29-year-old man is sentenced to 22 years in prison for the brutal stabbing death of his girlfriend, another grim reminder of Guyana's ongoing battle with domestic violence. And overseas, Finland on alert. The Nordic nation expands its military reserve as tensions rise across Europe's eastern flank. These stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Stay with us. First up, police in Regional Division 4A are investigating a fatal accident that occurred at a busy intersection of Lamaha Street and President Road, Georgetown, around 1:15 p.m. on Thursday, November 13th. The crash involved a motor lorry GAH 5884 driven by a 33-year-old man from Long Creek and a pedal cyclist Lennox George Benjamin, a 69-year-old resident of Prashad Nagar who died at the scene. According to initial reports, the lorry had stopped at a red light on Lamaha Street while the cyclist was riding west along the left side of the vehicle. When the light turned green, the lorry moved off and began turning south onto President Road. During the turn, the left rear wheel of the truck struck Benjamin, causing him to fall and sustain severe injuries. Emergency responders later pronounced him dead. His body was taken to the Memorial Gardens funeral home pending a post-mortem examination. The truck driver is currently in custody as investigations continue. The tragic incident came on the same day the Guyana Police Force issued a public call for truck drivers and owners to attend a major sensitization meeting on the new auto-control speed management system. The system will introduce mandatory speed governors for trucks as part of efforts to curb speeding and reduce serious accidents, an ongoing concern as heavy-duty vehicles continue to account for disproportionate shares of roadway fatalities. The meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, November 19, 2025 at the Police Officers' Mess Annex, Evelary. The Guyana Police Force emphasized that truckers play a critical role in improving road safety as Guyana pushes for a more disciplined road culture under the theme, Safe Roads, Save Lives. It begins with you. On a different note, GuyExpo 2025 opened with unmatched energy and scale on Thursday evening, marking its 30th anniversary with the largest showcase in its history and signaling the nation's rapid economic transformation as government leaders outlined bold plans to drive innovation, industry, and entrepreneurship across Guyana. Held under the theme Transformation through Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Guyana's largest trade show has a record-breaking 305 booths, 297 exhibitors with strong messages about Guyana's rapid economic ascent. President Dr. Irfaan Ali, delivering the feature address, said GuyExpo's scale reflects the country's booming economy and the future of the country.
GuyExpo 2025 is about our people. It's about our culture. It's about our innovation. It's about our future. It's about our connectivity. It's about networking. It's about belief. It's about confidence. It is about one Guyana. It is about our future.
President Ali outlined 6 key pillars that will guide the government's development agenda: digital transformation, industrialization, food security, energy security, climate and biodiversity services, and tourism. The President announced that Budget 2026 will include special incentives to boost agriculture, manufacturing, and industrial development. He highlighted plans for a national digitization infrastructure, new industrial and manufacturing estates in regions, including Berbice, Molson Creek, Lethem, Enmore, Linden, and Region 2, and major ecotourism projects aimed at positioning Guyana as a global leader in nature-based tourism. He also revealed upcoming support for farmers, including a mega food park initiative and help for rice farmers to diversify their land use towards livestock and swine production. Tourism, Industry and Commerce Minister Susan Rodriguez said the Expo mirrors Guyana's transformation since 2020. She noted that over the past 5 years, thousands of SMEs have expanded with government support. Through the Small Business Bureau, more than 13,000 businesses have access training and 4,000 receive grants totaling $1 billion. Moving on, domestic murders in Guyana doubled in 2025, rising from 13 cases in 2024 to 26 this year, Crime Chief Deputy Commissioner Weldon Blanham revealed on Thursday while presenting the National Crime Report at the launch of the Christmas Policing Plan 2025 at headquarters Ivlery. Despite the rise in murders, Blanham highlighted that serious crimes overall have declined sharply. From January 1st to November 9, 2025, there were 115 murders, up from 101 in the same period last year. However, the total number of serious crimes fell by 25.1%, the largest decline over the past decade. Most murders, 81% victims male, 19% female, occurred in domestic and disorderly settings, with Georgetown Region 4A recording the highest proportion at 21%. Other areas with high murder rates include the East Bank and the East Coast of the Marara, while Regions 2 and 5 had the lowest. Other crime statistics showed significant reductions. Break and enter and larceny were down by 190 incidents this year versus 269 last year. Robbery under arms, robbery with aggravation, rape, burglary, and larceny saw a decrease in numbers when compared to the previous year. Blanham noted that Region 4A, which is densely populated and the country's commercial hub, continues to account for the highest number of serious crimes, followed by Region 3 and 4B. He also highlighted that robberies with firearms were most common between 6 p.m. and midnight, prompting increased police patrols during that period, which contributed to reductions. While Guyana enjoys a long-term decline in serious crime, the rise in domestic murders remains a significant concern, reflecting the contributing challenges of addressing violent acts within homes and communities. Stick around when we return. Berbice man sentenced to 22 years for killing his girlfriend, and government's US $200 million development bank to open in early 2026.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common flaws make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. A Berbice man, 29-year-old Jamal Angus, was sentenced on Thursday to 22 years in prison by Justice Sandal Kassoon for the August 16, 2020 murder of his 21-year-old girlfriend, Vanessa Benjamin, a mother of two. Angus of number 30 Village, West Coast, Berbice, stabbed Benjamin 17 times after she ended their 4-year common law relationship. The attack, which occurred at the home of Benjamin's mother in Ithaca village, also left her 56-year-old mother injured. Benjamin was taken to Fort Wellington Hospital and pronounced dead on arrival. An autopsy revealed a punctured heart and lungs from the stab wound. Reports indicated that after committing the crime, Angus attempted to take his own life with the same knife. Witnesses described seeing Benjamin lying on the road following the attack before she was taken to the hospital. During his trial, Angus pleaded not guilty. Court records noted that he fathered one of Benjamin's children and had a history of domestic abuse. In sentencing, Justice Kissoon highlighted the prevalence of domestic violence, the premeditated nature of the attack, and the long-lasting impact on the grieving family, particularly the children. The judge also noted the victim's vulnerability, describing her as unarmed and helpless during the attack. The state was represented by attorney Cecilia Corbin. Moving on, 4 arrested as GRA officers attacked during smuggling operations in Berbice. On Thursday, November 13th, around 4 a.m., officers from the Law Enforcement and Investigation Department of the Guyana Revenue Authority were attacked by alleged smugglers during an intelligence-led operation near number 61 village Berbice. The officers had intercepted a large wooden motor vessel carrying a significant quantity of uncustomed goods, including alcoholic beverages, and detained the vessel and its occupants. While escorting the vessel to a processing facility near the number 43 village Berbice, the officers were ambushed by a group of men who forcefully reclaimed the vessel and seized its contents. In response, the GRA collaborated with the Guyana Police Force and the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit, leading to the arrest of 4 perpetrators who will face prosecution. Efforts are ongoing to recover the vessel and its cargo. GRA reiterated its zero-tolerance policy in smuggling, warning that anyone attempting to import or export goods to defraud the authority is liable for penalties. The public is urged to report illegal activities via the GRA hotline with strict confidentiality and potential rewards for information. In other news, the government is moving to significantly ease the financial burden on small and medium-sized businesses with the launch of its new US $200 million Guyana Development Bank, which is expected to open by early 2026. President Dr. Mohamed Irfaan Ali made the announcement on Thursday at GuyExpo 2025 in Sofia, explaining that the legal and administrative work for the bank is already underway. The bank will offer unprecedented zero collateral, zero interest loans aimed at driving economic growth and diversification. Details on how much businesses can borrow will be announced in Budget 2026. According to the president, this move will remove one of the biggest challenges small businesses face: access to capital to expand. To further support small businesses, the government will also introduce new incentives for commercial banks. In return, banks will be required to lower their interest rates to under 4% and reduce collateral requirements, making borrowing cheaper and easier. The Ghana Development Bank will focus on sectors such as agriculture, agro-processing, tourism, hospitality services, creative industries, and value-added businesses. President Ali said the goal is to create thousands of business opportunities and help diversify the economy beyond oil and gas. The initiative forms part of the government's wider plan to boost rural development, encourage innovation, and support long-term national growth. Don't go away after the break. New Delhi struggles with toxic air. Health officials sees a rise in respiratory illnesses, and rising sea levels force Panama's island residents to move to the mainland.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Common smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I am Nikita Ford. Tonight, Jamaica set its sights on full tourism recovery by 2026. Climate change drives new displacement fear at COP30. India's hospitals face surge in illness, and Finland highlight its military strength. We begin in Jamaica. Jamaica aims to have its tourism sector fully restored by May 2026, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett says. With 2/3 of destinations already operating, hotels and attraction continues reopening after a major storm damage. Bartlett urged travelers to come back, stressing tourism important to recovery and national resilience. The eternal displacement of people because of the climate change is one of the biggest issues at COP30 meeting in Brazil. Al Jazeera John Hallman reports.
This is Gardi Sugdub, an island off the coast of Panama. Wall-to-wall houses, a victim of ever more frequent flooding and storms as the sea around it rises. Eventually, say experts, it will swallow the island completely. That's why its inhabitants, the indigenous Kuna people, decided to move, taking everything, packing their lives on small boats last year. It was the first government-assisted movement of people in Latin America due to climate change. Now this is home, on the mainland. Baby Alitzel is the first member of the Fernandez family to be born here. She's happy enough, and so is her grandmother Leisa, thinking on how they're missing storm season back on the island.
In the afternoon, cooking dinner was tough because the tide sometimes got into the kitchen, and the wood we used to cook got wet, so we didn't eat sometimes. The floods always come in December, but not here on the mainland. Here you can't even see the waves.
This is their new home. It's called Isbayala. Identical houses built into the Panamanian jungle, still just a short boat ride from the island itself. The government put $12 million into the project. The Kunas provided the land. It's not perfect. They have to burn their rubbish. There's no collection or health centre. But it does provide a test case of how governments can successfully relocate climate refugees. Soon there could be no shortage in the nearby islands. Experts say that most of the islands in the Gunayala archipelago could be underwater by the end of the century. The sea level is rising so fast and people live on about 50 of them. So it's not hard to work out that a lot of people are going to have to be moved. It's a predicament that many other countries may soon face too, says Ugochi Daniels, who's at the COP30 summit to talk about it.
Now, if we look at what the projections say, by 2050, we will have 216 million people displaced in their countries. So it's huge. It's really, really huge.
One of the successes of the Panamanian government's approach is some effort to take the Kuna people into account, says Daniels. It's a model for others to follow.
It's not just about building houses. It's how are you rebuilding community life? How are you preserving culture?
The government's built a school and a congressional house, the heart of any Kuna community, where chiefs called sailors sit on ceremonial hammocks. This might not work for other communities in Panama or elsewhere. Crucially, the Kunas at least had the land already bought to move to. But Leisa at least knows her family has a future. She's already sewing the traditional molla for her granddaughter Alitzel. The place is new, but the traditions, they hope, will remain. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Isbayala, Panama.
Hospitals in the India capital, New Delhi, are seeing a sharp rise in patients with respiratory and cardiovascular issues. Al Jazeera Barnaby Lou reports.
For weeks, thick smog has blanketed New Delhi.
The air quality, now in the severe category, as measured by government and private monitors. It's become so dangerous, some of the city's normally crowded streets are almost empty. But not everyone has the option to stay indoors. As a courier, Sonupal has to be out on the road most days. The constant exposure to pollution, he says, has led to respiratory issues.
My breathing is labored, and sometimes it feels as if I'm going to die. If someone smokes next to me, or when I'm in traffic, it causes a lot of discomfort, and I have to use a nebulizer to get relief. And after 9 p.m., my eyes are always watery.
Health experts say children and the elderly are also some of the most vulnerable. 7-year-old Kiran has been in hospital for days due to asthma.
She starts coughing when air pollution kicks in. We avoid going outdoors, but kids seldom listen. In the past, she'd get better, but this time she had to be hospitalized.
Air quality in India's capital and largest city typically deteriorates during the winter season, when cold weather and stagnant winds trap vehicular and industrial emissions, and smoke drifts from neighboring states where farmers burn crop stubble. The government has imposed tighter anti-pollution measures, including a ban on non-essential construction and industrial activity using polluting fuels. Schools have been ordered to shift classes online to protect children.
Air pollution impacts children more than the adults, simply because one, they are growing. Secondly, they have a more minute volume. That means every minute they breathe more air than anybody else.
But critics say measures by the government are band-aid solutions that don't prevent the problem from recurring.
The Graded Response Action Plan is a reactive measure that's implemented once air pollution levels crossed a certain threshold. That doesn't really allow much room for sustained improvements that need to occur throughout the year.
And with data showing more than 1.7 million deaths in India linked to outdoor air pollution in 2022, people may no longer accept this haze as seasonal. Hundreds gathered in a rare protest last weekend, demanding the right to breathe safely. Barnaby Lowe, Al Jazeera.
Finland is a nation of 6 million people and prides itself on having one of Europe's largest and most capable armies. Al Jazeera Ashim Ahelbaro reports.
A Finnish Air Force military drill is in full swing, but today they wouldn't be able to fire anti-aircraft missiles because of the low visibility. Finland has one of the most advanced air defense systems in Europe. And with war in Ukraine showing no signs of abating, armies in Europe assess their defense capabilities.
Of course, we monitor things that happen in Ukraine very closely, and we have brought some key findings that we have made to our training, like use of drones and repelling them, or electronic warfare and so on.
These are busy times for conscripts and reservists like Antti. He comes here regularly to practice at this firing range. 1/5 of the population is trained to fight in case of war.
For me, the importance to be a reservist is that for my home country, for the safety of my home country, we have a good reservist army to defend with, and also because this is quite fun. And we are a quite tight group here, so I like it a lot, the friends here.
Finland's military hopes to increase its number of reservists to 1 million by 2031. Minna Ninonen leads the country's largest reservist association.
Now we speak honestly, what's happening in the east side, we will feel that that is a little bit the threat, not even a little bit, it's real threat for us at the moment. We want to show for Russian people that we have a big reservist, we have trained a lot, and we are training here, and we are very well prepared, so don't come here.
Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine has led to a big increase in defense spending across Europe. Finland is planning to increase its budget by 50%.
we have to take in consideration where we are. We can't help our geography. We are located where we are. And Russia is just next to us. Russia's been engaged in a brutal war in Ukraine for quite some time at the moment. We don't see that ending or changing the big picture in a short period of time.
British and Swedish army units are taking part in the drill. For NATO member states, the top priority now is coordinating their response to threats.
This is all part of the push to ensure the level of preparedness of the Finnish army is at its best and see whether the ground and air forces have all it takes to repel any potential attack against Finland. Hashim Al-Barra, Al Jazeera, Lochtaya in Western Finland.
Thanks, Nikita. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3 event forecast. And that's it for the 2 Headline News for this Friday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. We will be off for the weekend, but you can tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourselves and each other and do have a wonderful weekend.